Is this march right here, Boudica Prime plus YSG, the march that finally puts an end to those annoying Pakal Harald city-popping cheeseburger marches? Well, in our last KVK, I took some videos fighting against these marches with this march right here, and I've got the battle reports. So let's take a look through and find out just how well it does. What's up, everybody? Psych out here with another Rise of Kingdoms video. This is the march that a lot of players have been using, Boudica Prime plus YSG, and one of the things that I noticed last KVK is that it seems to do really well against the annoying Pakal Harald march. And I'm going to show some video that I recorded from last KVK and some reports that I recorded during that fighting here, so we can check those out here in a minute. But first, I want to talk a little bit about why this march actually is pretty good against the Pakal Harald combo. So a couple of things here. One is Boudica Prime obviously does a lot of damage with her first skill. And that's really, really important, right? The skill damage is your advantage against that march, right? If Pakal Harald hits you with all the normal attack damage, you're probably not going to win. It has way too much counter attack damage. So that's one part of it. Another part of it is that we get a lot of attack from Boudica Prime here. We also reduce some of that skill damage taken. So when Harald does fire that active skill, which sometimes they're trying to proc with those marches, that there's some chance of reducing it. Plus, when she takes skill damage, there's a chance to actually increase her normal attack, do a little back damage back to that march when she does take the damage. So we can reduce that skill damage by 25%, and we can also do some damage back, a little payback damage to that march, if you will. And again, there's a cooldown of 7 seconds, but typically with the Pakal Harald, they're jumping out of the city, they're hitting you, and so it's really only happening one time anyway. This one's probably not so important, but again, it does do some extra damage to infantry, which the Pakal Harald march is. And obviously, in this case, we're using all archers, and archers are better against infantry anyway. And this skill is not really quite as important, although, again, an extra 10% damage is pretty good. Okay, so the other key thing that works really well here, obviously, YSG has a pretty good skill damage, and it's probably just going to be one target in this case. So we're getting the full 1700 damage factor there. But the big thing that I think really makes a difference, and we'll see this in some of the reports, is this one right here, is that you can actually scale up your rage very quickly with Art of Archery. If you get that Art of Archery proc, you get an extra 100 rage, and you increase that attack by 100%, which actually does a lot of damage back to that Pakal Harald march. And then, of course, if you do get your skills off, which you can often get with this march because you proc your skills much quicker. If this procs, you are going to be doing an extra, a lot of extra skill damage there. And of course, Boudica Prime also increases the skill damage that they take by 35%. So if they get hit with both skills, Boudica Prime followed by the YSG, that's going to be a lot of skill damage that march is taking. So, and the expertise isn't really relevant here because we're still just going to be hitting one target. Obviously, it's relevant in terms of the damage factor increase, but that's the only part we're talking about here. So let's jump over to the recordings where I was fighting and recording and talking through the reports at the same time. And you can see all that. You can see the analysis that I'm doing in real time. And then I'll come back at the end to wrap things up. Well, that had to have gone well. Let's take a look at that one. Let's go to the Boudica report. That's the one we care about, although this is a brand new march. And obviously, with all the surround damage, that did well. And there's the Boudica YSG. Into the Pakal Harald. Oh, man. Wow. Wow. That's a big hit on a Pakal Harald, Boudica YSG. Wow, that's pretty sweet. Let's go back and check that again. Let's go ahead and hit that one into favorites. And let's check the buffs on this. Okay, that's a lot of infantry attack. Those are both expertise. Obviously, with the relic on YSG, pretty good stats, health and defense. I think those are actually all pretty good stats at this point in the. Let's see, all damage 10.5%. So he's got basically the all damage about where I've got, but that skill damage is pretty sick. And obviously the boost from Boudica skill damage as well when her skill hit. Let's take a look at the battle log on this. So, okay, we're losing the early ones, which we would expect against the Pakal Harald because of all the counterattack damage. We start winning here? What happened here? Okay, so the enemy started getting a lot of debuffs, it looks like, here. Let's see, what else? I mean, they had debuffs on these too. I'm not exactly sure. Let's see. See if something happened here. Okay, so we knew that. Shield of the Ancestors. 5%. Oh, so we got the extra damage to infantry, so that's actually pretty nice here as well. A whole bunch of debuffs, obviously, on that target. We fired Phoenix Tail arrows that turn. That's what made that turn so much better. Okay, so turn 3. Good. Okay, turn 4. Yeah, again, we're getting wrecked by the counterattack damage. Ooh, what happened here on this turn? Archer attack 100%. So YSG skill is triggered here. Yeah, 100% archer attack. We're getting some. Oh, okay. We got an extra shield. That was nice from somebody's nearby CPO. Let's see what else happened. Why so much damage here? Okay, we got Phoenix Tail arrows again. That's pretty sick, especially in combination with the YSG skill going off. All right, so and then obviously here's when our skill fired, and we're gonna see a big damage factor here. Let's see, there it is. Revenge of the Iceni, 13,518 units lost. Big hit on that one, and then obviously the YSG skill on turn 11. So yeah, turn 9 and turn 11, we fired our skill off, did some big damage. That's pretty sweet. All right, just got a report here from this Pakal Harald fight where we traded positive, and well, first we'll check out the troop buffs. We can see a lot of attack, a lot of defense, a lot of pretty decent stats there. Like my health's pretty low here. And actually, like I think my total stats are all quite a bit lower. Obviously, we have a lot more skill damage with the Boudica YSG. About the same all damage. Again, I'm 1% higher, but that means that basically he's got pretty decent tech at this point in the KVK. So pretty strong. Both expertise commanders. If we check out the battle log, you can see we actually got skilled a bunch. I'm guessing that's like Harold's AoE, or because it was surrounded, he's gaining rage a lot faster. We got hit by their skills a lot, but still, look here, turn 12. 100% archer attack plus the Boudica skill. So that means we triggered the art of archery here from YSG. 100% attack plus the Boudica skill. Look at that damage, right? Plus we actually healed enough that we actually got troops back on that turn. And then turn 14 when YSG skill goes off. Again, another big amount of damage. We may have also procced the no, we didn't actually proc that. It was just from that. I was wondering if we proc some of the other skills on that one. But in any case, yeah, the Boudica YSG seems to be doing pretty well against this Pakal Harald meta. So that's probably worth a go. If you're looking for what is a counter to Pakal Harald, maybe Boudica YSG is the answer to that. All right, so you saw those reports and sort of real-time analysis, real-time recordings. I mean, obviously, it's a circumscribed situation where, in some cases that Pakal Harald was being heavily surrounded, and there's lots of other things going on there. But I think in general, I've noticed that archers, of course, and we would expect this, do really well against that Pakal Harald march. In the past, I would just leave my archer march closest to the city and just let them hit my archer march. But now I think with Boudica YSG, that's a particular combination that can do pretty well against those Pakal Harald marches. As you saw in the report, a whole bunch of things really go in that march's favor, particularly in terms of the talents. I really like things like whistling arrows. I really like Phoenix Tail arrows on those archer marches because you get this 10% chance of increasing all of your damage by 25% for 2 seconds. You get this extra skill damage factor, and of course, YSG adding to skill damage, Boudica Prime adding to skill damage. You're getting things like Clarity, which is actually a really strong talent. You're getting Rejuvenate. All of these kinds of things are really, really good actually against that Pakal Harald March because you can fire off your skills really quickly and do a lot of damage, taking advantage of all the skill damage that Boudica and YSG offer. And I think in combination, right, with these kinds of instant proc skills, with YSG's instant proc rage buff and instant proc 100% attack, this March is really powerful. So if you're looking for a March that deals with Pakal Harald, I would seriously think that Boudica YSG is one of those Marches that can handle it pretty well. But that's it for this video. If you like this video, if you learned something new from this video, or if you just sort of enjoyed it, or if you have questions, comments, if you have other suggestions for marches that deal with the Pakal Harald Cheeseburger City Pumping March, leave those down in the comments below. Thanks so much for coming by, everybody, and I will see you in the next one.